I am a representative from Bushy Park Secondary School. Thank you. The Constitutional Court has ruled against the smacking or spanking of children in South Africa. Spanking is the best way to discipline a child. The influence of the world that is changing the behavior of our children. In nowadays society, children are much driven by social media, therefore produces rebellious children that result in a crippled society. And today's disrespectful youth have shown what happens when spanking has been forgone. No wonder our society is full of crime. Spanking is the best way. Some kids need it, period. When time out, talks and taking away privileges doesn't work, you have to get the belt and target the butt. When you have tried everything, but nothing works, your last result is spanking. Trust me, it works. Especially when your child is hard-headed and does not want to listen. All that is left to do is spank the child to remove the foolishness. Thank you.
Now I know I don't want to do this. Okay, so now I'm going to give the ones who are against to also present.
Okay, I don't have much words, but I'll just get straight to the point. I'm against spanking of children in schools because if you look at it, us as South Africa as a country, we are coming from an apartheid regime, so corporal punishment is also promoting violence, which is the thing that we are trying to say that we no longer want in our country. So if we still allow corporal punishment in our schools, it means that we are still following the rules of apartheid regime. So that's why I'm saying I'm against the topic, okay, right? Yes, like I was saying, that's the reason why I'm against it. In South Africa, almost every year, about 1.3 million children die because of abuse violence. So if we are promoting corporal punishment in school leadership, it means that we are saying our children can die every day. That's why I'm saying I'm against it, and I'm with the Constitutional Court for agreeing that it should be abolished the rule. Thank you.
Speaking of death, man. Girl, it isn't about the parent beating a child and then they're gonna die. The parent is not spanking or smacking the child. The parent is abusing the child. She's not smacking her, or he's not smacking her. She's abusing her. And it's a very wrong way. Like, you better not the wrong girl. Like, the thing is, from my point of view, is that yes, you don't spank those. He isn't spanked out of love, they're spanked out of hatred. And I grew from a very, very strict family. Mina, umama ebengitshela ukuthi when she used to beat me, ebengitshela ukuthi ngikushayela ngoba ngiyakuthanda mntanami, angifuni uphume endleleni ezilong.
Okay, so
on the team, dear darlings, let us not bring our emotions into this, but use our common sense. But else there's a difference between fear and respect. When a child respects their parents, you know what you're supposed to do and why you're not supposed to do what is wrong. But else, fear, when a child fears their parents, they tend not to do something which is wrong because they don't know when they're supposed to do this or not do that, because at the end they're going to be beaten, isn't it? I not clearly remember my dad telling me that back in the olden days they used to be beaten for stepping one pinky toe out of the line, which is useless, senseless and brainless violence, which is completely
debates to please just continue with their opening arguments.
We correcting you, we're not using emotions, but we're stating facts. Firstly, I think you should check out the 2000 generation and the 1994 generation. We have different and we've been disciplined differently. 90s were beaten up and being disciplined by their parents, and look where they are right now. You'll never, it's few to see a 90s almost struggling and doing nothing. Most, like this nowadays, 90s are graduating and they're making their mothers and their parents proud. Us 2000s, what do we know? Go order. I think now we should try and tell our parents and schools to discipline us, and we as children must give them respect.
Thank you. Okay. Against the spanking.
Unfortunately, this is 2019. It's not 1990. I clearly disagree because spanking is wrong, and spanking it lowers a child's trust for their parents, and that is, it's like, for an example, my mom comes, I say hi mom, like your mom said, hey come on, why don't you run away? Guys, spanking is wrong because it breaks a person up, like it creates that anger within a person. And no wonder when you do your research clearly, when you check in South Africa, child and woman abuse is too high. Reason being, because we call back what happened in 1990. That happened that time. Thus, we are at freedoms, my dear.
The reason why I'm saying spanking is right is because if, just like Bali said, if you can compare the 1994, before 1994, the youth at the time, these days they graduate. But this day, they graduate and they finish school. But look at us, the children after 1994. We are liars, we step teachers, we backchat, we smoke and etc. We do all the wrong things, and we let our friends do. We let our friends. Okay, we let our friends to make decisions for us. We don't make our own decisions. We always make the wrong things because we follow friends. But the children from 1994, they always relate to things. They ask their parents first, but us, we go with friends. That's all.
Thank you very much. Can I please hear those?
The fact that we state the obvious. Firstly, as you know, that things have been modernized, meaning the time has passed and generations change too. So you cannot be trying to see what happened in the past and like now, like things change, and so does time. When time flows, things change. And second of all, the way I see it, the smoking and all the drugs and all of that, it depends on your background. It does not do with spanking and all of that. It depends on your background and your control as a person. You understand? There's a very big difference. I feel like you're going above the topic.
Thank you from both teams. So now I'm going to
Drugs and alcohol abuse has nothing to do with your background. You can change that. Your background does not define you. Your background does not tell you who you are. You have to be you. Your background does not describe your life and things like that. You have to work hard to get where you want to get. Not go around telling us about your background. Your background has nothing to do with your life and your school life.
Leadership. Okay, we understand. I still think that you guys don't get the point. We're not being emotional, we're just trying to state the facts. Now listen. Section 7.1 of 2005 Children's Act says any behavior that would inflict injury or physical emotion is not allowed. Listen, the argument says we are against spanking of children, and the section here is agreeing with us. Because if you spank a child, obviously there'll be emotional trauma. Second, wounds on the body when inflicted. The other day, I was reading something on the newspaper about a girl who was stripped naked just because of doing hairstyles that are not appropriate to the school code of conduct. Imagine degrading a girl child in front of other kids. How it feels, the trauma, the emotion. Guys, you know what I'm saying? So guys, I hope you did the research well, because it looks like you don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking of what you just said, the girl didn't get a spanking from her childhood. Azama Sharago, a decision he no lazako. You're the one who makes the decision. I want to go from and no, I'm using it to somehow. I'll be back to you.
I'd like to call for order in the house. Thank you. Thank you to the house at large. We would like to complete this argument so that all of us are clear as to what is our perspective about spanking within the schools. Okay, ma'am, you may continue with your argument quickly.
When you get spanked at school, some teachers take anger out on you. You're not being spanked for the reason Ogutu did something wrong. No. Some teachers, they hit you and hit you very hard. That's what I experienced in primary school when I was hit for not doing my homework. I got hit very hard and now I have a scar on my elbow. But if you come to think of it, when you get hit, some parents don't hit you just because of you getting disciplined. They hit you due to that they're angry and they probably have stress of their own, and then they're gonna hit you to the point of Uguti. Now Uguti shy. Thank you.
Okay, I'll give from you may.
Fellow leadership, you've just failed to understate your statement. Because what you just said is agreeing with the statement that says spanking shouldn't be brought back to schools. Spanking of children inflicts pain on the flesh, which nobody would want that on themselves. It also promotes lying within individuals, because which child on their normal state would confess what they did to their parents, knowing that they're going to be beaten afterwards?
Anthony Nebet once said we should not be raised like European children. We are all Africans. The spanking of children was our African culture. And some cultures, like some religions, like Christians, they believe in it. So it's been our thing since the European came in. Since they colonized, it's been our culture before they colonized us. And I think it's still the best way to follow it because it's our culture. We are Africans. We are supposed to do our thing. Okay, let me make an example and an example. Look at the United States of America. The schools there, they have mobile police stations there. Why? Because of the rule of corporal punishment it's not used there. Children there are stabbing teachers. Always when they fight, they call the police. My question is, do you want us to be like them, or you want us to continue the African way?
We don't need to be like Americans. This is South Africa, and the other thing is spanking. It violates. It's violence. It shows that violence can solve life problems, and like we need to speak. When you have a child, you have to sit down with the child and say, Nana, this is wrong. You're not allowed to smack the child just because you have stress. You must keep your stress to yourself. And the other thing I will make, my other point is that physical punishing your child, it's called bullying. It's bullying because no English guys. We have to understand that we don't allow spanking at our schools. We don't want it because me now, if a teacher can spank me, now I'm going to the police station straight. I am not gonna run home. I'm going to the police station straight.
Okay, thank you very much from both sides. I think you have had a better perspective. But I'd like them to just tie up their argument, so I would like only one speaker on the for side to just close their own argument or tie up their argument from what has been discussed. And then I'll also ask one from the against team to also tie up their argument, and then we can proceed with the program of the day.
So you spoke about sitting down the child and talking to the child. Well, let me tell you something you don't know again, child. So every time my parents sit me down and they tell me that I have a problem, guess what I do? I ignore them. I don't listen. I do my hair toss and eye roll and move on with my life. And that's it. So every time you get verbal with them, they'll always find a way to never, ever do what the parent says. No matter how verbal you can get, you can tell them, you can grouse at them, you can holler at them, but the child will always be disgruntled and will never take no for an answer from a parent. Thank you.
One from the against team to please give a closing argument.
In closing, I would like to state the fact that there is no reason for you to hit your child, because firstly, you are implying on violence. When you hit your child, the child, she or he might find it fine to hit other children, and that's implying violence, and that's the last thing we need in our country. That's going to cause problems. Yes, that is why in my closing statement I say that this should be abolished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My teams are still burning, but now the time is against me. And unfortunately, it means we'll have this discussion while we are with our peers as we leave. So I'm so sorry I have to cut you off. I hope that today we have learned a lot in terms of discipline as an individual, within your schools, within your immediate community. I'm glad that they have both brought their own perspective and have shed light on how they feel about these issues. So as a learner, as a student, and as an elderly person, I know one thing for sure: self-discipline is key. Thank you very much.